You're in the mix.
SKM presents Strictly for the Music Podcast. You are now live with the #1 podcast for all upcoming artists worldwide.
It's the real
deal.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. This is Strictly for the Music Podcast. I'm your host, SKN. The next guest I got live and direct has multiple albums, Modern Outlaw, Back to Basics, Quarantine Sessions Volume 1 and 2. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcoming to Ryan Mathers.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, man, I want to tell you, man, thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate your time. And we have a lot of ground to cover, so let's get right into it, man. So describe your music to the audience and give a little backstory of where you're from, man.
So I was born and raised in California, and musically, I'm pretty much a heavy blues, southern rock, outlaw country-esque, mixed with like social distortion, cowpunk, punk rock.
All right, man, that's dope. Okay, so man, let me ask you this: your debut single, and let me ask you about how did you get inspired by the music you do, man?
Surprisingly enough, it was just listening to music at home. I was never like in the cool squad of everybody else was listening to like pop music and whatever was popular, and I was listening to Leonard Skinner and Social Distortion and ZZ Top, and it just kind of kept going that direction. And when I started playing music, it always stayed in that direction, and now here we are. As far as writing and performing go, I kind of have. I started out as a rhythm guitar player, and then from California we moved to Texas. And I spent some time down there before moving up to Central New York, and kind of started chasing the blues circuit up here, and kind of just started forming my own sound with a trio. And we decided that we were going to be the biggest sounding three-piece that you'd ever heard, and so we sat down and really started critiquing my playing, and here we are.
That's amazing, man. So, man, let me ask you this: Modern Outlaw, was that your first album you dropped?
Yep, that was the first studio album I ever did, and I recorded that with studio players in Hollywood, California, and then I dropped it, and then we're actually working on the follow-up right now that'll be out. I still am shooting for January 1st of 2021, but I was actually just finishing up one of the mixes on it, and it's going to be a brand new album with brand new material. And, but yeah, it's going to be, it's called Darker Side of Life. It's some songs that I wrote, a long, long time ago that I never have done anything with. And, I felt like it was a good time for a follow up. So, me and the band decided we were going to hit the studio. And when all of this, pandemic stuff hit, I, built a home studio and finally broke down and got a DAW. And, I'm producing and engineering it all by myself. So,
Wow, man. So, man, let me ask you, what inspires you to start producing your own music, man?
money. The first album cost the first album between the Hollywood studio, which my dad helped me out with that, but it wasn't quite finished. So I went to several studios in Texas, and out of my pocket, I ended up spending a whole bunch of money. And I was like, man, I could buy the software and do it myself. And that's kind of where I got started with it. Growing up, my mom had a mastering house, so it wasn't too far fetched for me to get into the producer engineer seat.
All right, man, that's amazing. So, man, let me ask you this: what's one of the songs that sticks out the most on Modern Outlaw, and what's one of the songs that means the most to you, man?
Home. And definitely be home. I wrote that song with a dear friend of mine out of Texas who passed away a couple years ago, and we were sitting at home. We both had just gotten off the road, and we were watching a Monday Night Football game, and I looked at him and laughed and said, "Hey, we've never written a song together." And so we sat down and we wrote that one together.
Man, that's amazing. All right, man. So, man, back to basics, man.
Back to basics actually was I didn't have a band, and I got sick and tired of not having any material out. So I sat down with my acoustic and I recorded 10 tracks that are just me and an acoustic guitar.
That's dope, man. Hell yeah. All right, man. Man. So let me ask you this. Have you ever done any music videos to either album?
Nope. I actually have never done a music video. It's been talked about, and I had a couple companies that were going to come out and do some videos for me and stuff, and then they backed out at the last second, and I've never actually gotten one done.
All right, man. All right. So, let me ask you this. In the near future, is there a possibility of you shooting any music videos to your latest albums or your new releases, or what could the fans expect, big man?
Yes, actually, we're getting. I'm getting ready to finish up the lead off single for the new album, which is a song called "Gotten Away with It," and we're gonna shoot a video for that one, and we're getting everything kind of lined up for it right now for probably here in the next few weeks of getting some people together and just shooting it and seeing where we end up with it.
That's amazing, man. All right. So, let me ask you this, man. With all the support and love you get from all your fans, man, being at the probably like a veteran in the music industry because you drop a lot of material and people are loving you, man. So, how does that make you feel, and what is the type of feedback that you get from your fans, man?
Honestly, the biggest compliment that any musician can get, especially when you write your own stuff, is when somebody comes up to you after a song and they tell you their how they connected to the song. Um, I've had several people come up to me for various songs, different songs, and how that song touched them, or how they could relate to it and stuff like that. And I just feel like if you're going to write songs, why not tell a story with it and see if you can relate to people? Because if you can relate to people, then you're going to have more longevity than if you're just a one song, one hit wonder type thing where everybody only knows the one song and that's it. And so I most of my songs are written based off of things that I have done or seen in my life, and that they all have an element of truth to them. So they're pretty much just songs about everyday life, and so I feel like that's I think that's part of why my stuff does relatively okay. We do a lot of live shows. Obviously, not this year, with everything going on with all the shutdowns and everybody having a hard time getting gigs and doing that kind of stuff. But the year before, I mean, we did. I played between solo acoustic shows and full band shows. I did 285 shows, and that's pretty much like my average is about 250 a year. So it's kind of I'm looking forward to getting the new album out and looking forward to moving on with 2021 and getting back out on the road. So
That's amazing, man. So let me ask you this: What is it like? What was it like performing for the first time? And what is one of your favorite venues you like performing at?
ooh, man, I would say that my absolute favorite venue that I've ever played at would be boy, that's a tough one because there's quite a few of them that are always a good time.
We
Um,
get, yeah, give us a few of them, man.
I would say the Oasis in Midlothian, Texas. That place is always a blast. Um, then you got the Maximum Power Park up here in New York. We played up there to a huge audience, and that was just a good time. And I mean, there's like I said, there's a lot of them. I can't even name them all off the top of my head, simply just because I've been so buried in the studio, I haven't even really looked to even reach out and contact the people.
All right, all right. So let me ask you this, man. Can the listeners on this podcast go find any performances on your YouTube channel, man?
Oh yeah, you can find different performances on there. Um, most of the stuff on my most of the stuff on the channel is either me acoustic, or I did a couple of like snapshot videos with different songs. But I don't think there's a couple of live performances in different places, different channels. But off the top of my head, I can't think of anywhere that there's actually a real live performance of us. That's another thing we're actually looking to do in 2021 is get one of our bigger shows and then do kind of do a live cut and do some video work from a live show.
All right, man. So let me ask you this. What do you think about virtual performing?
I have a hard time playing to my phone.
All right. Yeah, man.
I've done it. I've done. I did. I think we did it once back in March. We sat in the we sat in my garage and did it, and that's actually how we recorded Quarantine Sessions 1. We did that Facebook Live and recorded it at the same time, and that's what got released. Was us live playing on Facebook Live.
Oh, yeah. All right, I seen that, man. Okay. All right, that's on Spotify, man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man. Oh, that's really dope. Let me ask you this, man. So, getting involved in music and everything, man. What was what was it like releasing your first album, man? How did that make you feel? What were you going through at the time, man?
To be honest, I was scared. I was absolutely terrified that people people wouldn't like it, and but over time I have now it's just like now it's becoming second nature. I look forward to getting new stuff out, and like I said, we've been in the studio now for about the last 3 months working on the new album, and I'm really excited about it. The band sounds really good. The album is starting to sound really good, and I'm really looking forward to see how people interact with these songs versus the songs that I already have out, because they're a different aspect of me as a songwriter, and a different kind of a different sound than what the first album was. The first album, I was a little green. I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet. And, my bass player that I have now, Danny Phillips, he really has helped me tighten up my playing and helped me tighten up as a live act. And because of that, this new album just has a life of its own, and I'm really looking forward for people to hear it, and really looking forward to the feedback off of it.
All right, man. That's amazing. So, let me ask you this, man. Do you have any future collabs that later on will be on an upcoming project you got going on?
As of right now, I don't think so. I've got a couple of people that want to come do some stuff in the studio, but I don't really know if I'll be collabing with them or anything. But who knows? I might end up playing guitar on some stuff. It all just depends on what the bands want to come in and do. I got one band that's kind of a local band up here in Central New York that after doing we did a cover of ZZ Top's LaGrange, and after that got released, they contacted me. They're like, "Hey, we want you to do our next record," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So they want me to produce it and stuff, and like I told them, I was like, if there's anything you want me to do on it, just let me know. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, man. So, let me ask you this, man. If you could collaborate with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ooh, boy, that's a toss up. I would say alive, probably Mike Ness, because I've always been a Social Distortion fan. And then probably dead, I'd probably say either Ronnie Van Zant or Johnny Cash, just simply because they did things their own way, and you couldn't stop them. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for both of them as songwriters and performers, and for always just sticking to their guns and being who they were.
How are you different from other musicians?
I don't know that. I don't know anybody else. I think that the only thing that really, like I said, I think the only thing that really stands me apart from other people is, I write songs about my life instead of, writing in third person or, writing about, other people's stories. I kind of tend to stick to writing, things that I know about. And, so far it's worked for me. So I guess since it's not broke, I guess I'm not ready to fix it.
All right, man. All right. So, man, favorite song you ever wrote?
Favorite song that I ever wrote? I would probably say The Truth Behind Me, because it's 100% the autobiography of my life.
All right, man. All right. So, who would you say your music is targeted toward?
Anybody and everybody that wants to listen to it. I don't really have a target audience. You know, I don't, I don't really classify myself in one particular genre, and I don't really stick to a method. One song might come out country, and the next one might come out heavy blues. The next one might come out punk rock. Um,
Huh.
it's a broad spectrum. I mean, there's no such thing as a box in music. And I know a lot of people that want to be a certain type, and that's kind of where the whole modern outlaw thing came from. Was I don't want to be just one person. I'm not, I'm not. I listen to everything, from Tupac and Dr. Dre to Johnny Cash to Social Distortion, Rancid, Agent Orange, the Ramones, to Stevie Ray Vaughan, to ZZ Top, to Skinner, the Allman Brothers, Mellencamp, so kind of a broad spectrum of stuff. And so I always feel like, why typecast yourself when you could when there's so much more to it.
Right, man. Amen to that. All right, man. So, let me ask you this, man. How old were you? How old were you when you decided you wanted to do music, man?
Oh, how old was I when I decided I wanted to do music? Um, the first time I really started pursuing it, I would say I was 15. Had some luck with an old band that I had, and we were doing pretty good, and then we broke up. And then I put together a couple of bands after that never did anything, simply because the guys were older than me, but they all just they thought that they were just going to make it off of name dropping and not working. And me, I'd already kind of laid the groundwork and had already been there, done that, and I kind of got tired of it. So then I had quit for a while, and I walked away from it. And then I would say about the time that I was 23, I took about 3 years off. So from the time I was 20 to about the time I turned 23, 24, about the time I turned 24, I started going back out to open mics, playing with my acoustic, all around like Dallas, Fort Worth, and started getting acclimated to being back on stage. I never really wanted to be a singer, and that was kind of always my big reason of not wanting to do it, because I didn't want to sing. And then I started singing, and people started booking me, and I was singing, and I'm like, well, here we go. And then I got my first gig that paid, and that was the moment I went, you know what? I guess I still can do this. And then I started pounding the pavement and booking shows, and now here I am. I'll be 38. I'll be 38 in December, and next year is my 10-year anniversary of being back at it full time.
That's amazing, man. Well, congratulations to you, man. It's an honor to have you on this show. But
Oh,
let me
man,
ask
thank you
you
guys for
this,
having me.
man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I wanted to spread out, like you said, I wanted to broaden out my audience and everything too. That's why I thought when I heard your music, man, I was like, man, this would be a dope artist to get on the podcast. So I DM'd you, man, and asked you if you would come on the podcast. But we appreciate you coming and taking the time to be on this platform, man, and spreading your music.
No, man, I appreciate you guys for reaching out. I mean, it takes it's not just a one man effort. It's a group effort, and if we can't all help each other, then what's the reason for doing it?
Right, man, and I thank you for that. So let me ask you this, man. Is there anything that you do outside of music? Like, if you weren't doing music, what would you be doing?
Ooh, man, I did that once, and I worked on cars and built hot rods and drag raced. But outside of that, as soon as like I said, about 10 years ago, I got the first paying gig, and it's been full throttle ever since then. I don't. There's absolutely nothing in the world that I want to do more than play music and make music. So it's kind of as soon as that happened, I was in Austin, Texas, and that was the moment when I said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And now here I am. Like I said, 2021 is my 10-year anniversary of being back at it full time. Now, mind you, I've been playing music since I was 6. So I mean, it's been a part of my life for 30 years. My parents had bands before that, so I've always had music in my life, even from the time I was born. So I don't know that there's anything else in the world that I can do at this point. Not saying that I couldn't go do something if I had to, but as far as what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be a musician.
Amazing. So let me ask you this, man. Do you have any advice for any upcoming musician who wants to live and perform?
Practice, practice, practice. You can never
Pra-
practice enough.
right, practice makes perfect.
It's kind of funny, man. The better I get as a guitar player, the more I find out I don't know. And it's music is an interesting thing. The more that you learn, the more you realize you don't know. The better you get, the more you realize there's another thing to learn. And I mean, I have spent more time with a guitar in my hand in the last 3 years than I did probably the first 7 that I was out there doing it. And I mind you, I was playing a lot of shows, so I always had a guitar in my hand. But this last 6 months of not playing shows as much as I used to, I found myself actually pushing myself to just play my guitar, and it's starting to show in my actual playing. And that's the big key is don't give up. um, and for anybody who's just really starting out, don't think you suck, because we all sucked at some point. But don't quit because you think you suck at the moment, because if you don't practice, then you're always going to suck. If you do practice, then you can be just as good as anybody else. And that's kind of that's kind of the key. I got very fortunate that I met some wonderful musicians that are very talented, and have done very well for themselves as musicians. And I asked them flat out, "What's the key to success?" And all of them, that these are multi-platinum artists, and they all told me the same thing: practice, practice, practice. Hard work pays off in the end.
Amen to that, man. All right. So what are your goals leading to 2021? Like, what do you got ready for the audience to hear, man?
Um, Honestly, like I said, the brand new album is it's hard to explain. There's a couple songs on it that really, I mean, the album title is Darker Side of Life, and some of the songs I wrote when I was in a very dark place in my life. And so it's kind of we restructured some of the songs, and they're more blues rock, ZZ Top on steroids, but you still have that Waylon Jennings esque country to it too. So,
all right, man. So, what is the best advice you've been given?
Best advice I've ever been given?
Yeah.
Don't quit. You'll never make it anywhere if you quit. Don't quit.
All right, man. So, so how is your music going to evolve from here, man?
Honestly, I mean, we're gonna get this album done, and we've got some stuff in the works for 2021 to kind of do some traveling and go from New York to Texas and Oklahoma and Missouri, and looking at been talking to a couple management teams, been talking to a couple distributors about taking on this new album, and just going to take it one step at a time and keep pushing forward to keep trying to be as successful as possible. That's if we get out on the road and we're able to do that, then obviously we'll me and my bass player we'll write some more stuff. We've got a couple of ideas that we've been bouncing around already while we were in production with this album, but the songs aren't ready yet. And, so we're just going to keep on writing and releasing new music as we can, and growing as a band, and keep trying to broaden our fan base. I think at the end of the day, that's all you can really ask for.
All right, man. You got any special shout outs you want to give?
Man, I really want to give a big shout out to, like I said, my bass player, Daniel Phillips. He's the person who has kind of helped direct me into the direction that we needed to go. And then outside of that, I would say my mom for always keeping me in the industry, and then my girlfriend Crystal for putting up with my crap, and that's my dad for helping me out when I needed it the most, and each and every fan that has ever come out and supported the show and bought the CD and followed us on Spotify or Apple or anywhere and bought the album.
All right, man. So go ahead and plug in all your social media outlets and let all the audience know where to stream your music at.
Let's see here, man. You guys can find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com / Ryan Matter fan page, and then Instagram at the Ryan Matter. Twitter is at the Ryan Matter. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, all of your streaming sites, and then on YouTube. I think it's YouTube / Ryan Matter is the YouTube page, which is going to be getting an overhaul, as it were. I'm going to be adding some videos probably here in the next couple of weeks from some different things that I'm hoping to do, and probably just going to go out and do some filming with phones and start making videos, and just start working towards that. But man, yeah, it's there's always another step to move forward with. So it's been a learning process this year, and I'm very happy that I've been able to adapt and keep moving forward.
Amazing, man. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Matter, and this is Strictly for the Music podcast, and we're go.